So welcome to our vision circle. So what is that going to mean? You know, I was thinking about that as I'm getting ready to put on Zoom, is what does that mean in today's world? Because we began this as broadcasting glyph of a value statement for the world in relationship to, that was one group, the time travel, going back and eliminating concepts that were inserted by the outsiders, opening new energy, holding new patterns through the broadcasters, and then protecting the new growth with guardian circle. That all rolled into now what we call vision circle, which isn't, it might be all of it, but maybe there's something else that's being called for in this day and time. And maybe it's still a vision place to anchor a vision, a creative possibility, you know, by us tuning in to our team. And we've been doing that, I think, a lot, especially in relationship to areas of life or our own personal life. But I just want to put that on the table as we open this particular circle. What does the intelligence of the field want from us? We might get some of that today too, because there's so much lifting into a new level, a new realm, a new region of using what we know and who we are. And I want to kind of make that opening possible here too. So prelim. Okay, so let's set our circle. We gather in the sacred ground of sovereignty, a secured space that we have declared and worked with and strengthened over 2 to 3 years and beyond. Gathered in a cocoon of the fourfold boundaries of Red Rock, Guardian Circle, Hitchhiker Shield, Hazmat Suit. And in addition, in these times, we are putting around that entire cocoon the decree to close the skies, close the energy fields to all outsider energies. In fact, that shield is to proactively search them out and remove them. There is to be no hint. We are in a space of sovereignty, in secured channels to the divine families and teams who are also totally aligned to good and benefit. Within our individual cocoon resides all that we love, all that we are connected to in love, the spaces we inhabit, the energy fields that we are. And in that cocoon, because we understand there is only present now, all of those Akashic records or past lives totally stacked here to be brought into alignment to this sovereignty and resonance to the divine family. Collapsing time, space into now. We appreciate all of those beings of intelligence and wisdom, integrity and joy, creativity and genius. You are aligned with the outcome of Earth being a reflection of our divine family's agendas of good. We thank all of you for being with us, guiding us. And with that, reset this circle. It is declared, designed, anchored, activated, and so it is. So let's go around, put ourselves in the circle, and whatever, if there's a group or a number of individuals you want to place in the circle, put them into that healing space, that weaving of divine good. including our four-leggeds, anything, any situation that you feel to place in that circle as you put yourself into the vision circle today. So Deborah, do you want to start?
Sure. I'm going to put in 12 people. Five situations: world, Ukraine, Russia, China, and inner knowing. Thank you. Sue?
Thank you, Deborah. So I see the number 47 people. And I want to put in the circle the limiting belief I can't. And the human need for power over, which is fear, actually. And what I heard yesterday, which I'm allowing to resonate within me from the ancient ones, was surrender. And what I'm getting from that is let go of everything I have learned. Everything I have learned. Because in it is a misunderstanding for most of it. And there's a better way. And that doesn't mean changing the protocol for removing the darkness, but it can change my understanding of it. So I'm bringing in surrender. Surrender everything I have ever believed in, or think I know, or think I understand, for a new awareness and a new experience. And I'll call on Arlie.
I want to bring in 18 people. That old sick cat who, in spite of having a chronic condition that is expected to advance along with his age, is doing so much better. Even the vet is really surprised. I would like to bring in 4 situations, both personal and the world. And the word I want to bring in is connection. And I'll choose Sharon.
Okay, I'm going to bring in 36 individuals, and of course, the world situation represented by Ukraine, Russia, China. And 3 personal situations. And the word delight. So we have 113 individuals that have been declared to be put into that basket of healing within divine good. And that doesn't exclude those that we don't know that also might be brought in by our team. We put in that same healing basket a sick cat to continue being wellnesses, 12 situations, huge world situation. And our intention is that all of the actions of weaving good within that basket will dissolve what had seemed impossible to open to wellness and to open doors that weren't even there before for that same outcome. We're holding the qualities of inner knowing, of surrender, allowing new understanding, connection, and delight. And with that, our circle is set and declared even in more expanded ways than when I said it originally. So let's just go around one more time before we do our journey. And if there's anything that you want to say or put in, respond to what has been said, let's do that now. And then we will connect with that intelligent field that we now just call Sacred Ground Vision Circle and see where we're taken. So let's go around one more time. Arlie, you want to start?
No, I think I'm going to pass. So Sue?
I feel complete. Deborah? Just commenting on Sharon's comments at the beginning of this. I know last week we were all sort of, most of us were feeling like we weren't sure where we should be going last week, and just letting our guides take us to what was important at the moment. So I think that we're all sort of feeling that change in this with the other circles of what purpose and things, and just letting it come up as to what needs to be done in this moment was the feeling last week. And that's my same feeling today. Yes, I just let them surrender and go where I need to go. So Sharon?
That's my feeling too, that I just want to be open to maybe something I've not even thought about before, and just know that there is more here than has ever been here before in relationship to guidance for us. So, ready? Very short guidance. So find a place where you're sitting comfortably. Make sure that your body that needs to stretch a bit first, or stand up for a minute, whatever you need to do. Because your body's simply going to hold space. It's not a message giver, it's a holder of space. And as the body, physical body, holds the space and is nurtured and fed in its place of being right now, you can just relax. And your awareness, connection to being aware or guarding the circle of your body, you can let that go, knowing that your physical is in good hands. And in this place that we have called Vision Circle, we take off any boundaries, any limitings that we may have had in the past, opening ourselves each individually to the guidance for today. What is it that we each can be shown, be asked of, connect to? Where is it? And what is it that we are called to today? Feel that breath of connection to the greater, to the unseen, to your teams. Feel safe in wandering down the path with them to wherever it is you are to journey. Know that your place of sacred connection is already prepared for you. There are those waiting for you to see or hear or be shown for today. When you are complete, we will meet back here at this beginning place. Probably in about 10 minutes or sooner if you are complete. See you on the other end. We have about 1 more minute, but Deborah, take as long as you need. Okay, back. Sue, you want to go first, please?
I went really deep right away. I'll see if I can remember it. But what I envisioned was being in the quantum field. And I first called in the belief I can't. And that kind of morphed into I can't trust, I can't surrender, I can't give up control. And there's an energy pattern to that. And it wasn't about going into the past to figure out where it came from. It was putting that energy pattern of the need, the obsession to be in control, the addiction to being in control for reasons and purposes of greed and from fear. So I put all that in the quantum field, and from the fear of leading to disease that affects the brain, the rewiring of brain from the wiring of brain from trauma into the quantum field, limiting beliefs into the quantum field, all the extreme emotions into the quantum field that we call the human nature gone extreme. And then so I put all the children, popped into my mind to put all the children in the quantum field, but what actually it was all the children who've been abused. And then I saw all the children who are in sex trafficking, they're trapped, and they all died. They all just died. But they came right back. They came right back with the wisdom of understanding that whole problem, that whole obsession of sex with children and the need to control. I kind of got stuck there, not stuck, but watching it. So I put everything into the quantum field and surrendered it, let it go for it to be worked on in a way that is for the highest and best good of all. And that's what I did today. Arlie?
I also went to rewiring brains, but anyway, I started out in a very dark place, a room, and it was one of those scary rooms. And there were whispers all around, things to be afraid of. There were 3 things that were mentioned clearly. I can only remember one, and it was, there's a new kind of baby coming and you won't like it, sort of stuff. It was just meant to scare you and get you going. So then I was shown that what we need to do is get rid of humanity's desire for this sort of stimulation that gets the amygdala going, that activates your fight or flight. And you can become addicted to the stimulation, and anger, of course, is a real easy way to get that going. So it gets fuzzy after that. So the message was to turn down the desire for scary stuff and for anger as stimulation, and for blood boiling stories, and for the sorts of things in the political theater that get people sitting on edge and feeling unsafe. And it was like a switch in the brain. I could call in our guides and all the entities in the unseen working for good to turn down the desire for this anger, turn up the desire for joy and love and connection. It was like a switch or a dial that they just needed to work with. God, I can't even read my notes here. So then I got the message very clearly that we are not using the unseen, our guides, everybody who wants to work for us, to anywhere near their full capacity. And we need to pull them up and ask them to do these jobs and give them work to do. And they're here for us, and they want more, and they want more, and they want more. So I was sitting with that, and I was told to give special attention to world leaders, people in power. And immediately I flashed to a series of world leaders, the usual that you would expect, but let's just talk about Trump. And there was this huge black thing that rose out of him. It was almost solid. And black miasma was coming out of these other leaders. And it was stuff I haven't seen before. So I sent that to Source and to Cosmic Compost. And then I just turned everything over to the guides and to Gaia and to any entity or energy that wanted to work for all good. But this is the most non-clear, mess-like, confusing notes, images, vision that I've been on. So that's me. Take it away, Deborah.
It sort of reminds me of last week, Arlie, when we were getting messages that instead of just asking not to have war, that we needed to learn how to have peace and have joy, and joy in simple things of music and creating and art and all of that. And part of that is getting rid of that 3-second brain span from television and stuff, and the bang, bang, shoot 'em ups that you were talking about, and coming back to that piece and that whole part of the brain. So that's fitting in with the whole theme from last week. That's what I'm hearing, and sort of taking it further. So thank you for that. I keep, and I don't know if, I'm just gonna say it's real. I'm not sure why, but they keep taking me to the Galactic Council meetings. And what they told me is that there's, that for me right now, there's very deep changes going on inside that can now, parts of me that have never been able to come forth can and will start appearing, and that they need that information shared with them and with the planet, and it will it'll be internal and external changes. And external, like maybe I can lose some of the weight I lost before and gain back last year, but whatever, which are minor. But it was just that it will, things will be very different, and it's very needed, not just for me, but for planetary stuff, and bringing messages back and forth to Gaia or whoever. Because so that was me. It's like, okay, fine, bring it on. Thank you. Sure.
for me, I saw that it's like I had reached another level of my own internal ceiling. That's as far as I'm going to go. Had nothing to do with outsiders. It wasn't that they weren't a part of it. It was just my own construct. So I went back to Sue's, I can't, okay, that's what I'm going to work. What is it that I thought I can't, that caused me to put a limit? This is where we are. We've hit that limit. And so I didn't need to know what it was either. It was just like, no, we're not staying here. So evidently I had created that. And what would happen, I said, what would happen if those safeguards that I had put in place weren't there? And they said, what would be happening is that at an instant, at a touch, at a thought, things would change. Everything would be gone at a thought, at a touch, which is kind of where we want to go, right? That's where we're all holding. And so I just called for the corrections, the thank you for holding the limit. That's what I gave you the job to do. Thank you for doing that. You've done it well. And I move you into a new role and bring in those that can show me how to open that door, how to walk that expanded place, so that I can be learning that. One thing I wanted to share with you, we had tag 2 class today with, and Audrey was there, and she mentioned that one of the words that for her the last week or so has really felt powerful is clearing the plasma. I've never thought about plasma, space, cell forms, all kinds, but for her, it has caused a shift that was unique. And I just want to pass it on, because it's not just for her. If there's plasma everywhere. So I wanted to share that with you. So for me, writing the new reality statement and saying, okay, let's get this going, open the doors, and we're moving forward. So that was me. Okay. I like it all. I like where everybody is. Good places. Deborah, are you?
May I ask how your daughter's doing?
Yes, my daughter, when I got there on the 28th, as you know, I saw her at 10:30 that night in the hospital. She was swollen. She could hardly keep her eyes open. She hadn't had food in her water consistently for 3 weeks, been in and out of the hospital, the ER. If she had 3 tablespoons of food, they said, okay, she's fine, and sent her home. And so that's where she was Friday night. And of course, as I flew out, I was told that there was an indication of maybe a cancer in her brain. And that's a whole story, because I'm going like, whoa, that we're not going to accept that, nada. So did the work and made plan A still plan A. They gave her a steroid on Monday night, but we also started working immediately on trauma that was showing up as nausea, or trauma that was showing up as swelling. I started to teach her to pay attention to her body, listen to her body, release whatever was up. So she started participating. The steroid kicked in. Her appetite went from 3 tablespoons for breakfast on Tuesday morning. By Wednesday morning, she was eating the full breakfast and hungry, which is, and by Thursday, they were going to keep her until maybe Friday or Saturday, because they were weaning her off the steroids, and she has sugar diabetes, which, that's not a good match. So they were going to keep her till Friday or Saturday by her doctor's recommendation. And the head doctor came in Wednesday to talk to us, and he said, oh, she's doing really well. I said, but she hasn't eaten for 3 weeks. And he said, oh, the body can adjust, because they're taking measurements. I said, but that's called starvation. He was not happy about that. I said, if I had a child and was treating a child this way, DSHS would come in and take her away from me. He was pissed. Maybe I set him off because Thursday morning, his substitute came down to my daughter's room, looked her over, said, "How are you doing?" She said, "I'm feeling a lot better. And I think that extra day, I think by Friday night, Saturday morning, I think I'll be in good shape." He left. That was the extent of the conversation. The head nurse came in Thursday about 3:30 and says, "Well, are you ready to go home?" We had not ever heard about going home on Thursday. And I said, "No, I'm not taking her. We're not going anywhere. She's not stabilized from the steroid." So she went back and argued with the head honcho and came back and basically said to us, she's speaking for the hospital, "We're releasing her. And if you don't take her, we will call security and have you escorted out of the hospital. If you happen to not go with security, you will be billed personally for whatever overnight stay you have. But we are releasing her. She is fine." I've never been threatened like that before. So we had a really good conversation with the head nurse and the day nurse that had cared for her. They broke down in tears. My daughter broke down in tears. They'd done great care. The head nurse said, this isn't unusual and it's not what I signed up for. That's why we're losing staff. But she said, I'm not going anywhere. It was that kind of a system that is broken, really broken. But my daughter, we got her into, I was there for about another 10 days at home. We got her into a good protocol. Her nutrition was on top. Her blood sugars were on top. Her movement was on top. Her energy was high. And then they finished steroid. The day I left was her last steroid. And so she's now adjusting to a different lower kind of steroid just to keep her stabilized energy-wise so that it doesn't overburden her adrenal system. This other steroid won't overburden her adrenal system, but she's just like in really good shape, mentally, emotionally, physically. She's doing her work. I'm doing my work, and then but she will do radiation beginning, I think, a week from tomorrow. Yes, but wait from today. I think she'll start radiation and have 5 days, and then 5 days, and then they'll scan the brain again and see. So we are working with the body. She's doing great. Quite an experience. The one thing I read a book trying to figure out how to work with this narcissistic pathological relationship person my other daughter has been involved with. And one of the chapters we came to was that power isn't in yes, the power is in no. And you really do not get committed action till you get a person who will say no. Will often say yes as a way to blow you off. But when you get to know, that's the beginning of the next solution. And that's kind of the tack I took with the brain thing. It's like, okay, that looks like a no. Nope, she's not going to be able to live. That's what it looked like. I said, no, that's the beginning. Now we need the next level of solution. So that was an important piece too. So thanks for asking, Deborah.
Thank you for sharing.
So I guess it's blessings. Goodbye till we meet again. Sue's group is on Thursday morning. Our focused group, which is laser focused quick, is on Thursday night. So always glad to have anybody show up. It's always great. Love you all. Bye.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.